You're listening to the StudioPTBO Podcast, where we talk all things marketing to help you build and grow your business online. Welcome to the latest episode. Welcome to the StudioPTBO Podcast. We are back, and we're back at it again with another guest. And this guest is super, super special to me, and I am so excited. We've been wanting to do this for a while. This guy who we're having on the podcast today is somebody that has greatly impacted my life. Helped me as an entrepreneur, was one of the first people that believed in me to take, what we're doing now and make it a reality. And the amount of insight, the amount of, guidance that this person has given our business, but also just me generally as an entrepreneur. I'm genuinely thankful. Before we intro Bob Gauvreau, Neil, how are you doing?
I'm good, Cody May. We had a really good week overall, didn't we?
Yeah.
On this emotional roller coaster we call life right now.
Yeah.
A lot of great meetings, brought on a lot of new clients, taped a lot of amazing podcasts with people around the world. Yeah. Busy. I've never been busier in my life, but I'm very cautiously optimistic about where things are going. So yes, today, really special guest, a dear friend of mine as well, a great accountant. He was a few years ago, he served as vice chair on the United Way campaign when I was chair, and we really got to know each other on that. And he really stepped up at the end when we were short on our goal. And Bob stepped up with the 5K challenge, which took us right to the finish line, and we almost hit 100%. But just a remarkable guy. So Bob Gauvreau is the founding partner of Gauvreau & Associates in Peterborough, here in Peterborough, Ontario. But he has clients around the world, globally. He's really built a huge name for himself and his accounting firm, written a book. I'm surprised he hasn't had a movie yet or a Netflix series, but that's to come.
Yeah.
Bob Gauvreau, what the hell do you make of what's going on right now, brother? Have you ever, I know you're a young buck. I asked Stu Harrison this recently, and he's been around the block. Have you ever seen anything remotely like this, brother?
Yeah, I definitely haven't been around the block as long as Stu, but, it is such a different time. It has been, let me just say, it's been challenging in so many ways. I am looking forward to the other side of this in so many ways, and I'm hoping we get to chat about that. But, for so many business owners right now, the lack of certainty or the uncertainty that's sitting out there, and the lack of clarity in, how long we're going to be out of work, what the direction looks, what support is available. The uncertainty around this has just been causing absolute chaos for people, physically, emotionally. It's just been draining. So, but you know what? Everybody's in it together, and we're going to get through this.
Mm-hmm. I'm really curious, man. We've been working together over the last couple of years, and you've taught me a lot just about business and cash flow and profit and growth of a business. So I'm really curious, and I really kind of want to dive into, before we kind of get into all those things, because, I've gotten to understand your business quite well over the last, couple of years. But I'm really curious to know what you're doing right now as an entrepreneur in order to maintain mindset. It's something we've been chatting a lot about recently about people are just, we are in uncertain economic times, and people have a lot of uncertainty. So I'm curious to know what you're doing on a daily basis to remain positive, A, but then B, like you mentioned, what are you doing on a daily basis to, keep your head focused on getting to the finish line of this and getting to the other side? What's happening in your life right now?
Yeah. So I was in, there's so much going on right now, and I can't wait to get into it all, to be honest. But I was referenced as a wartime CEO a few weeks ago, and I'm like, damn right, I'm a wartime CEO, meaning that, when it's time for battle, you're going to step up and be the leader that everyone needs you to be. And right now, and maybe more than ever in history, accountants have knowledge that needs to be shared with people, and we understand as much as we possibly can what's going on with the government assistance and the incentives that are available. And you know what? It's my responsibility, my duty to help every single person, I feel, help every single entrepreneur out there, not only get through this, but to prepare for what's on the other side. It's amazing what's sitting on the other side of this. So we've created a model recently called How to Survive and Thrive in Times of Uncertainty. So we've been building models out and building out models so that there's detailed and actionable steps for people to take. And truthfully, I've been spending a lot of time in our Facebook group, Vision to Results for entrepreneurs, that essentially we've been updating, 3-4 times a day, providing all available resources for people. We've created a PDF document that says, this is how you're eligible, what the program is, here's how to apply. We've essentially walked everybody through everything that we possibly can. And I personally go into our Facebook group and answer every single question that's out there. At least I think I have. I'm sure there's been a few that I haven't, but spending so much time trying to help everyone get through this, because together we're stronger. And if I can step up and lead everyone through this, I would put everyone on my back and carry you across the line. That's what I'm doing right now.
Yeah, we feel that way, that you're one of the community leaders that's really stepped up right now. And we need leaders at moments like this. And leaders, at night, they can go home and shed some tears and have some wine and have some time where they're like, holy shit, what's going on? But then the next day it's like back at it, right? It's like back in that boxing ring. We are going to win this. We are going to fight this. We're going to battle this. But walk us through, Bob, what you are seeing in the trenches from people. And I know it runs the gamut. I'm seeing it too. At times like this, some people are just, fetal position, kind of like throwing their hand. And other people are like resilient as all can get out. And so what are you seeing in the trenches, and how are you helping navigate your clients through this as best you can?
Yeah. So again, I feel like lack of clarity is something that's causing a lot of people frustration from a mindset perspective, because they just don't know. They don't know what's available to them. They don't know if they can apply for certain things, whether they qualify or whether they don't, because everyone seems to be fitting in this small little niche that fits outside of it, right? So, that's a big thing that's causing a lot of frustration with people, because they're not sure how they're going to get through this financially, right? So what we're seeing is a lot of people reaching out in every form or fashion. Here's another thing I'm seeing. People who would be anti-technology right now are on Zoom meetings, are on Facebook. Like, who is it? People are direct messaging me on Facebook that didn't have email 2 weeks ago. It's unbelievable how
they're
people
not faxing anymore.
We're still getting the faxes, but it's amazing how people are adapting to this, and now maybe have been resisting so much to technology, but are embracing it now because they have to. Yeah. And are maybe looking at this as, maybe this is a tool, maybe there's a resource that we can use going forward that might be beneficial in our business. So it's not all terrible things that are happening. The other thing I'm seeing is that people are actually focusing strategically on their business and their future right now, instead of just being on the tools or just delivering the service. Right now is the time, and it's forced for so many people, but now's the time to really focus on the strategy and vision of your company and who are the people you want to work with. Because sometimes we're kind of going back to square one, right? So, where is it we want the company to go? What are our goals are? What tools can we implement so that when this damn thing is over and we can go back to business, that everyone is geared up, ready to go, and ready for the opportunity. And I can't talk enough about the opportunity. And this is what I want everyone to know, right? In a down economy, so many things are extremely frustrating. Older people who are still in business are going to be looking at this as a way to force them into retirement. There's going to be some businesses that don't succeed because they haven't planned properly. So if you consider that, looking at everyone's competition and you go, these are my competitors, I might lose 2 or 3 competitors through this. Oh my goodness, the market opportunity that's going to be sitting there when our doors open back up is going to be incredible. So let's position ourselves with the cash resources we need to capitalize on the opportunity.
I love it. I love it. And I love the opportunity. It's Napoleon Hill that says every adversity, every failure, every heartache carries with it a seed of an equal or greater opportunity, greater benefit. Bob, you are a best-selling author, and recently wrote a book called The Wealthy Entrepreneur. I know you spent a lot of time and a lot of heart went into that book. I'm really curious to know what people can expect from that book, and how specifically what in the book applies to what's happening now, because you wrote the book before shit hit the fan. So, are the are these tried, true, tested methods that will essentially get people, businesses through the entire, like what we're going through now? Or like maybe walk us through what people can expect from the book and how they can apply it to what's happening today.
Totally. So I might take a step back and quickly explain the model that we've created, the Survive and Thrive model, because I think it ties into our book, The Wealthy Entrepreneur. So right now, 82% of businesses fail because they run out of cash, not because they don't have potential, not because they don't have clients, not because they aren't profitable, but because they run out of cash money, right? So the first part of Survive and Thrive is getting cash resources available. Now, follow our Facebook group. The model's in there. I'm going to be doing some sessions in the coming weeks on training on how to maximize those cash resources. But once you get the cash, you need to pivot and need to adapt to what's changing in our environment. So when it's changing, we have to look at our business structure. Our cost structures have changed, right? Where if we were $1 million business and we needed a certain number of employees to deliver that value to our customers, if we lose half of that revenue, those employees go from being a variable cost, a cost of delivering, to being like a sunk cost inside our organization. We need to pivot quickly and make those modifications quickly so that there's a future business there for our employees to come back to. So, we're getting our cash resources, we're adapting a new model, and then we're positioning ourselves to thrive because, again, that opportunity is going to be there. So The Wealthy Entrepreneur, the book that we created, is all about preparing to thrive, right? It's about coming up and understanding your vision, outlining the financial framework of what success looks like for you in your business, putting it in there as a benchmark and a map to go from where you are now to where you need to get to, right? If any of us right now were going for a walk to BC from Peterborough, Ontario, we would need a map to get there, right? Because we would get disoriented. We wouldn't understand what the streets are. We get into Manitoba or Saskatchewan, it's flat. We have no idea where we're going. If you don't have a map or a GPS, how the hell are you going to get there, right? So getting that map created, getting that benchmark into your financials, and understanding if you're on track to realizing your financial future is so very important. So our book walks you through, the fundamentals of creating a vision, outlining that pathway, understanding your financial frameworks, and then gives you a few tools like how to get more profit in your business, how to improve your cash flow, how to minimize your taxes, how to structure your business. That book is essentially a resource right now to be positioned as an entrepreneur to thrive.
Where can people find it?
So
before we get it, where can people find it, Bob?
Yeah, so it's on Amazon, Amazon worldwide. It is in PDF, or it's in download PDF format right now. Yeah. It's also, if you don't want to go through Amazon, if you join our Facebook group, it is in our Facebook group for free. As a free download, because ultimately we want everyone to get their hands on this so that we can have a greater impact. And here's the one cool thing about the people that I work with. I work with entrepreneurs for one reason, because the most impactful people in the world are entrepreneurs. The more that they can come up with a new idea, a new initiative, a new service, a new way to impact people's lives, if I can help create greater profitability, because you need profit to reinvest and have a bigger impact in your business. So the more I can help entrepreneurs have a greater profitability in their business, the more impact they have, and together we can change the damn world.
Yeah, I love it. I agree. An amazing resource that has really galvanized the community locally and even nationally. In the last few weeks, your Facebook group has completely blown up. So it's Vision to Results for Entrepreneurs. I know a few weeks ago it had about 300 members, and now it has well over 1,000. And it really has become, Bob, a support group for entrepreneurs and in an ecosystem for people to collaborate and bounce ideas off of each other. What has that group meant to you? Because it's not necessarily exactly what it was intended to be, but what it has become is incredible. So walk us through that group.
Yeah, so ultimately the group was originally created almost as a communication platform to, show some trainings and provide some resources. And it wasn't overly active. We had 300 or some odd members. But what happened was when all of a sudden these government incentives came out and there was no clarity and people were confused, I shifted my efforts to making sure that we're around the clock providing the resources people need so that they can get access to the support they need right now. And truthfully, for me, this is a way of helping everyone through this. And when I said I honestly want to put everyone on my back and carry them across the line, I will. I'll carry every damn person that I can. I'll grab you on my back and I will carry you across the line. And you know what? All I want to know is that we're having a massive impact. And by the members that are joining, which I think, Cody, you're helping me with some of that. We're getting hundreds of new additions every single day.
Crazy.
Because we're offering so much value and there's no cost. It's free. There's no alternative agenda that's in there. This is purely about having an incredible impact and helping the most important group of people in the world continue to have impact in what they do.
Bob, you talk a lot about how entrepreneurs are risk takers. They're constantly excited. They're, like you mentioned, like they're making a massive impact. I'm curious to know kind of like where is Gauvreau and Associates headed? Because it looks a lot different now than it did 3 years ago. And like, what's your vision? And what do you want to do as an entrepreneur? And who are you looking to help mainly?
Great question, Cody. And, right now it's certainly continuing to evolve, right? As we all are. So we're a traditional CPA firm. We do accounting, tax, bookkeeping, and we're exceptional at it. I would put us up against the best of the best, and I guarantee you that we will compete with more passion and deliver a better, more exceptional client experience than anyone out there. I have created, and this is probably the thing I'm most proud about, I have created 20 plus people that I surround myself with who are high performance, qualified financial experts, and I would pin them up against anyone in the world. These guys are the best. And we genuinely care about every single person that we work with, and we really want to drive significant value to them. So that is what we've been creating. We've added 7 new members this year. We continue to expand. We've just added an HR representative inside. We've got dedicated client service employees who are different than other businesses. We have an formalized onboarding process. We're trying to compete with Amazon for delivery of service, and we're trying to compete with the best of the best with delivering financial expertise. So that is my team, and I'm evolving into, one, I want to be the leader that they need me to be on a day-to-day basis, but even more so, I want to continue to be the leader of the pack for those who are exceptional. So when I have clients, we've got this new virtual CFO program, and I'm spending more and more of my time in this with the 1% of top performers who want to work together to not only take their business from where it is now and to where they want it to get to, but increase the value of their business, transition planning to the next generation, and building significant wealth in their lives. So we've created a package over 14 years that's essentially designed now that I walk everyone through, and it's a done-for-you program where I will guarantee you $60,000 of new income and $300,000 of improved value in your business within 12 months. I'm guaranteeing that, or you don't pay until I get you there. So we've created this program. We know it works. We want to work with the best, and that's where I want to spend my time.
Bob, tell me about what the top 1% means to you, and what ingredients and characteristics you see in those kind of people that enables them to win and other people not in life. Because you've gone to conferences around the world, personal development's been huge for you. What do you see time and time again?
Yeah, great question. And I have, that's one of the things that I contribute so much of my personal growth to, and the growth of our business over the last few years, is community, right? Mm-hmm. And I know you guys have been creating community in your business. We're that's what we're doing with our Vision to Results group. What I would say is, as we continue to evolve and learn from those community and learn from those experiences from other people, the 1% high performers for me are people, one, that are awesome. I want to work with people I enjoy working with. And if you're not awesome, I don't want you as part of this group. I also want you to be a high striver, right? I want you to be able to say, you know what, I'm going to give something a try, and I'm going to put myself out there, and we're going to take a few chances, and we're willing to learn. I don't want someone who's stuck in their ways, because that's a struggle. right? And this is just purely in the virtual CFO program. We'll work with all entrepreneurs, but this is, my little baby that we've created. So those are a couple of things. One, I want you to be able to see your vision for 10 years. And I want you to want to strive for more. I want you to want to become a better entrepreneur and have more impact, right? Some people don't want that. Some people feel that, increasing your profitability in your business is it's kind of icky, right? And I go, well, if you want to increase your impact, the only way you can do that is increase your profit. So clearly you don't want to increase your impact. I want people who are impact-driven, mission-driven entrepreneurs who truly want to change the world and help so many people. And those are the people that I'm all in with these people.
Yeah, it's interesting what you're saying, because some people think it's greed to make a shit ton of money. But guess what? The more money I make, the more I give away. It's
totally.
awesome. Like, you don't have to keep it for yourself. You can spread the wealth. And that's how you've always been.
In fact, Neil, you could argue that not making money is selfish. Because if you have this great service or this great product and you're only providing it to a few people because you don't really want to make money at it, you just want to deliver it on your own, or the other option is to actually make money, reinvest in this thing, grow it, impact more people. So if you keep it tight and small, and which is okay, that's totally fine. People don't want to grow and expand, and that's totally cool. But if you want to maximize the impact you're having in the world, you need to have a growth mindset. Yeah. You need to make money so you can reinvest and grow this so that you can touch more and more people with what you offer.
Love what you have to say about impact. And I think it's something that, Neil and I are very, very serious about. And it's something that, I think drew me to you from a very early point, like, from the Tony Robbins days where you were connected with the Tony Robbins Association. Bob, you're not kind of the typical accountant, and that's kind of, and that's what I love about, your virtual CFO program and just about working with you. But, I'm really curious, you've tried a lot of different things. You've invested back into the business. What advice would you have to an entrepreneur that is looking to try something new from a marketing perspective? Because you're, like the videos that you do, the Facebook groups, all these different things, the virtual CFO program is not your typical accountant. Like, it's just not. So, maybe there's it could be a dental practice out there that is looking to do something different. Like, what advice would you have to them, or just an entrepreneur that wants to kind of break the common mold? Because that's really what you've done in the accounting world. So I'm curious to know what advice you'd have to, small business owners.
First off, Cody, I wouldn't call myself an accountant. I would say that I'm an entrepreneur who's really goddamn good at accounting. All right.
Okay.
But to your point, right? I feel like my industry, for one, is very very old school, which is great. It comes with a lot of class and a lot of dignity, and I'm proud to be in that industry. However, that's not exciting enough for me to be in that same mold, right? So what I can tell you, Cody, over the last couple of years is we've invested significantly in trying to understand, because our industry doesn't do it, right? There's no pioneers who are in our industry breaking the mold that we can follow suit, right? It's, we're going out there trying to figure out ways that we can market our business in an industry that hasn't really marketed before. So I can tell you we've spent a lot of money looking at different ways to optimize that, including video, which the engagement is insanely incredible. And right now, the reason we're having so much impact is because of video. We've looked at Facebook ads, which has expanded our reach. We've been able to reach out to so many people and help so many people that we wouldn't have otherwise been able to. And let me tell you this, I'm working with people across North America, not because, I'm walking out on the street and able to shake their hand as they walk by. I'm able to work with these people because they've seen me through Facebook ads, right? So I don't know how many CPA firms are doing Facebook ads. And I truthfully, we've learned and spent to try and figure out how the hell these things work in the right way. And now we're kind of coming into our own and figuring out how to optimize these things. So, we've tried many different things. We've tried the different platforms, what I would say is that everyone's got to find out where their people are. You've got to understand where your clients are. I find that a lot of our clients are on LinkedIn and a lot of our clients are on Instagram and on Facebook. I love Facebook because I feel like for me, it's an optimized communication platform where we can have a group, we can post events. It's more of a great way to communicate with those that we are working with. But I feel like you have to know where your voice is best. And you need to know whether video is good for you or it's not. Yeah. Maybe it's email marketing that's best for you, right? So, you have to try.
Yeah, Bob,
try and fail.
Yeah, Bob's a natural on. You're natural on video, and you weren't the first time, but you got there really quickly, and you pushed yourself to do it, and you are natural. Well, you're missing the boat though. You should be on TikTok, brother.
Yeah,
I am on TikTok. See,
you are.
I am. I'm on TikTok.
Bob Gauvreau, an accountant, is on TikTok.
Go figure, right?
No, he's not an accountant. He's an entrepreneur.
Yes.
Now that he told me,
entrepreneurial financial expert, Neil.
Okay, I'm gonna follow you there, Bob. I also see you. I would call you a positive disruptor. That's what I would say in your industry, like any sector. And I think you should become a lawyer in your next phase of your journey, because I think that's right for the taking too. It needs pioneers there who are going to change the landscape. But I have to ask you, so cash flow wise, let's talk about this. Is there pandemic planning we now have to work into our cash flow and financial projections moving forward? Because the next waves are coming and there could be another pandemic. What do you say to people about that?
So here's what I'll say is that we don't know what's going to happen in the future. I feel like
that, Bob?
Yeah. The crystal ball broke in the move. Yeah. So here's what I do know though, is that cash is always going to be king, right? The reason that phrase came out is not because it's a lie. It's because if you don't have it, you fail, right? So what I would say right now, people are panicking. They're trying to act quickly to get available to them cash resources. Now, businesses always have to plan to have the essential or necessary cash resources available to them that they need to make sure they're not focusing on it, right? Like right now, so many people are focusing on every single dollar in their business and they're losing sight of the future and what the future holds. So here's a few tips on cash flow management right now. One, especially our Canadian entrepreneurial friends, talk to BDC. Business Development Bank of Canada has up to $100,000 available on a loan that's online application. You need to have your financials up to date. You need to have a good credit rating. You need to have your tax return notice of assessments, and you need to be able to justify that you're going to be able to repay that loan in the next 5 years. So if you have those 4 things, you're going to get access to this money. And I will tell you this personally, I went and got this because it's at 3.3% right now. And if I can increase my working capital and my safety net and space that I have, not only now, but now I'm thinking, okay, if I can get access to this now, I'm going to hold this for a long time. We're going to be able to focus on strategy and taking advantage of the opportunity. And one thing I'll say, some people talk about taking advantage of opportunity as being a bad thing. And here's how I'll clarify it, because it's not. There's being opportunistic, right? Which is taking advantage of a situation. If somebody was not doing well and you offered them a lowball offer and you knew that they had to take it, that's being opportunistic, right? Being an entrepreneur and looking at the opportunities in our markets that are going to be available, that's not being opportunistic. That's being strategic, and that's taking advantage of the market that we have available to us. So get your cash resources, get your safety net built out. And you know what? This might be the time that we build our safety net and it's always there for us. Because I think, as a future planning entrepreneur, we always have to make sure that we have enough resources available for us to succeed. And that's, a lot of people are scrapping and clawing to get that now, but in the future, make sure that those are always available to you.
Cool. Yeah, it's funny. In our world, we say content is king and yours is cash is king. And they're both really equally important to, from how you built your brand too, content, but cash too. And we need to be mindful of that. Bob, I know Cody was going to ask this too, and it's important. I know you want to get to it. What in your utopian mind at night, what do you see the other side being when we come out of this? Because it's not going to be the same. We know it's not. It could be a lot better in a lot of ways. What do you see? What do you see the other side looking like?
I honestly, Neil, I see so much opportunity there, man. I really, really do. I feel like if people are ready to come back out of the gates, listen, half of our market is government employees or our retired people, right? If we look at our demographics in our country, we have a lot of seniors. Right now, their life isn't really changing that much, aside from the fact that they have to be careful when they leave the house, but their financials haven't been impacted. If you think of government employees like elementary or secondary school teachers are still getting paid, right? The entrepreneurs are the ones who are having to scrape and claw and try and pull in income. But half of our clientele who are out there, if you're a B2C business, is still not being financially impacted. So, those people, and I work with a lot of contractors, so I'll use this as an example. A lot of those people who, had a spring deck planned or were building a shed, those projects aren't going away.
Yeah.
They're actually waiting for you so that they can spend their money right now. So all of those projects are going to be there. There are some industries that are going to be impacted. Real estate agents, for example, I've been talking to a lot of them lately. There's going to be a few months of a bit of a lull, but anyone who wanted to sell their house before is still going to want to sell their house, right? So I truthfully feel like we're going to all watch some of our competition dwindle away. And if we're the first to the market when we come back and we're fully prepared and we've got the resources we need, we're going to be able to capitalize on what I'm going to throw out there is going to be the greatest opportunity that will ever be there in our entrepreneurial lifetime.
What about maybe you can speak to this, like, what about investment? Because we look at something like, investing inside your business, something you've chatted with me about a lot over the last couple of years, making sure that, you keep cash flow inside your business and make sure that you keep, profit inside your business. So what are some key action items that business owners and entrepreneurs can do in order to, invest inside their business? Like, what does that even look like?
Yeah. Come work with my virtual CFO program. We'll double your profits, right? We'll double the investment that you have in the program. We'll find you more profits in order to reinvest in your company to continue to grow and have greater impact. Now, we're talking about investment, and I'm not a financial advisor by any stretch, but, for any cash resources that we have in our own life, every financial market, like the Great Depression, is probably going to be the most comparable to this financial market right now. If you look at the rates of return on investment in that, 2-3 years after the Great Depression is like 500% return on investment, right? That is, that's no different than what's happening right now. I think our markets are down 50%-ish right now. They will recover, right? Unless the market completely falls out and, shuts down, it will completely recover. And I feel like that exact same opportunity is sitting there as entrepreneurs to reinvest in our business right now. Let's get it ready. Let's stock it up. Let's get our resources available so that we can capitalize on this future. Because truthfully, and Neil, this kind of speaks to what you were talking about before, I honestly feel on the other side of this, yes, things are different. We might have to adapt. Maybe we've learned new things about our business model, how we can be more efficient, how we can improve on our delivery. But I truthfully feel like if we're actually learning right now, we're not focused on every single dollar of cash because we've got that taken care of, but we're focusing on strategy and opportunity right now. I guarantee there will be no greater opportunity than we will have in the next 3 months.
I agree, because a lot of people have the idle time now to focus on this and do their learning and do their pivoting and do their research 100%. Bob, I know you're a huge community guy, and part of being a community guy is going to a lot of pubs and restaurants and supporting your buddies who own these businesses, my buddies. This one tears at my heartstrings. What do you say to restaurants owners now? And this is across the board, but I'm just speaking locally now because a lot of them are getting decimated. How do you see that coming out the other side? What can they do?
For sure. And again, so I'm going to have an event, and I don't know when you guys are going to release the podcast, but I'm going to have a session next week that talks about how to plan to thrive. And so part of that is, one element of getting access to those cash resources, because that's what those guys need right now. First off, they should be going and looking at what resources are available. BDC, the $40,000 government grant, are you eligible for that? Are there other ways that you can defer payments right now on any business loans or on your personal loans so that you don't need a lot of money personally right now? Looking at every way we can defer payments and get access to cash. So one thing that I talk about in our cash flow model is, and I've kind of termed it as moving the payment process forward. And a lot of us, we do work and then we go and try and collect money after the fact, right? Mm-hmm. That's not a very good way. And I feel like a lot of people right now are realizing that because they're having a hard time collecting receivables. Moving that payment forward means at least receiving payment when it's been delivered, right? Not after delivery, but upon delivery. Even better is, when you start delivery, can we move the cash collection up to there? And even farther is before anybody is even inquiring about us and having a service, how do we get cash off those people? And so what I would say to the restaurant owners, again, is how many of our clients as a restaurant owner are sitting there and still have a fixed pension income right now, right? A lot of them do. And how many of the people who go to the restaurants are middle-class government employees or upper-class government employees who have a really good salary and benefits that are continuing to receive that, right? A lot of the clients in that market right now are sitting there with no impact on their financials, right? They want to go out and have the restaurant. They want the experience right now. So if there's any way that you can deliver future sales, right? Like if you reach out, if you have an email marketing campaign right now where you've got your clients all on a list of who comes in, I'd be emailing them right now and offering them a discount on future sales, right? Yeah. Let's sell a whole bunch of gift cards. Let's get all the cash that we possibly can. As a restaurateur, you guys are artists. You guys are people who have skills that I sure as hell do not have, right? And if, fortunately, again, I feel very fortunate and I'm very grateful for the fact that I am still able to continue to work and to deliver services, right, in my business. And I know that they aren't able to in most cases. But here's what, there are a whole bunch of other people who are a captive audience online right now. What about figuring out a new way to generate revenue? What about like online cooking training? Right? Like I've been thinking about this and there's a couple of people in mind that I'm going, you guys create these incredible meals that I come and enjoy. I would love for you to show me the behind the scenes of how this works. If anything, maybe you're developing a community for yourself, but maybe there's a way to commoditize this and actually make money off of it as well. Maybe there's sponsors, maybe you create a YouTube channel. I think there's so many things that the business owners can do, that restaurateurs can do right now. One thing is, as a leader, it becomes extremely difficult because at times like this, we need to make really tough decisions. And a lot of people have had to lay off their team, right? And that's been extremely challenging and deflating for business owners, restaurants having to close, right? Other businesses having to close their doors. And we have to eliminate our team. And here's why we have to eliminate those outflowing costs, because if we don't get rid of them now, and get ourselves to a point where we're not losing substantial money, we won't have a future, right? We will be the 82% that runs out of cash. So they need to make, as leaders and as business owners, we have to make those quick decisions, eliminate those costs. And it's unfortunate, but we have to. And it's in the best interest of not only our business, it's the best interest of our clients, it's in the best interest of our employees so that they have a future. So I think as a restaurateur, you've got some decisions you need to make. You've got some opportunities. And I feel like, if anything, you've got a really captive audience of people who want to know more about you right now. So figure out a way to get out there. And Cody, I know you and I have done Facebook ads in the past. The cost of Facebook ads has gone way down, almost to where it originally was when they first started doing it.
It's just crazy. It's
the amount of reach that these platforms are having right now, because everybody's on their phone sitting at home, or YouTube, right? Yeah. So let's take advantage of that. Let's see if we can commoditize it, and let's try and offer gift certificates or pre-bought services to our customers, right?
Totally. I love that. And I love the ingenuity, the creativity, and something we've been chatting about over the last little while. The gift card program is something that has been, that we've been chatting about, and it's just the creativity. And Neil, it's like we keep saying, like, pivot, you got to pivot, you got to go online, you got to figure this out. Like, believe in your ability to figure things out. Because if you believe in your ability to figure things out, and and this is why I think everything starts with mindset. And I'm learning this through you, Bob, and through the Tony Robbins stuff and the Brendan Burchard. It's like, you got to believe in your ability to figure things out, and you got to believe in your ability to make things happen. So, Bob, I really appreciate you. And I know I've said that a lot over the last couple of weeks. it's been absolutely incredible to chat with you over the last hour and work with you over the last couple of years and just see you grow and help more people, impact more lives, and impact more businesses. So really appreciate your time and really appreciate your leadership, your wartime leadership during this time. And for anyone that is looking for a Facebook group to get information, the Facebook group is called Vision to Results for Entrepreneurs. There'll be 3 questions that that you guys ask on the way in. I'm helping kind of facilitate this because we're getting so many requests, for your business. So really appreciate you, Bob. Really appreciate you, Neil, as well. And thank you everyone for tuning into the Studio PTBO podcast. If you're an entrepreneur, we also have a Facebook group. It's called the Studio PTBO Marketing Hacks Group. We talk about not cash flow. So if you want cash flow, you need to go to Bob's Facebook group. If you want more marketing ideas, you want help, we are going weekly live inside of to do fireside chats. Just chat about marketing, how you can innovate, how you can pivot, similar to what we chatted about today. The link will be in the comments below. We're also going to post the link to the Vision to Results group in the comments below. So Jairus will make sure that'll happen. Thank you so much for tuning into the Studio PTBO podcast. Thank you, Bob. Thank you, Neil. We will see you soon.
Thank you, guys.